You've got one of the top 5 or 6 teams in the NFC now, with Jalen Hurts as your quarterback on a rookie contract. Financially, and we'll talk about the salary cap. Financially, Philadelphia is in the best position of any team in the conference. Tell me I'm wrong. Big Sills, March 8th. Wink, wink, 2022. Thank you. Hey. Because this will be a day that people will remember. I mean, I can't remember an NFL day like this in a long time. Maybe back to the Herschel Walker trade when Jimmy Johnson sent Herschel to the Minnesota Vikings for all those draft choices. Earlier in the day, reported deal with the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers. 4 years, $200 million, $50 million per. That got knocked to the second page of the NFL sports page and of the sports page in general with the news that just came out that Seattle has sent quarterback Russell Wilson to the Denver Broncos. By the way, guys, will you guys give Big Sil some love here? Remember what I did on my mock draft? What did I tell you? With the 9th pick, Seattle takes Kenny Pickett. I said to you that Seattle is moving off of Russell Wilson. I did my mock draft like 2 weeks ago right here on the National Football Show. All of you guys said you're crazy. We said that, hey, I believe that Seattle's moving off. And reportedly, this deal has been being worked on for about 2 weeks. I thought that both sides were just ready to move. Russell Wilson and Seattle. And so what they're doing is they want to go back to a rookie contract the same way that Pete Carroll had a rookie contract with Russell Wilson so that they can retool that football team. That's kind of where they are now. Seattle wants to get back on a rookie contract because they know the only way that they can rebuild that team, and you're talking about a 70-year-old coach that now is going to be put in charge of rebuilding the team. I think Russell Wilson just basically looked at it and said this, hey, man, I'm pulling the ripcord. I'm out of here. Guys, hit the like button. We appreciate you coming aboard. I know what the big question is, okay? Where were the Eagles in this? Well, from all reports and early reports, there was a deal on the table from the Washington Commanders on trying to land Russell Wilson, and he vetoed it. So he did not want to come, or Seattle did not want to trade him inside the division. So you've got to put it in that context. Both parties went like this. Let's see if we can move off of our current contract here. And if it's going to be somewhere, it's got to be in the AFC. It can't be in the NFC. So, yeah, Hugh, Washington tried to land, as I said they would. They're trying to land a quarterback. I don't know who that's going to eventually be. It could be Carson Wentz. Wentz could be coming back to the NFC East. They are moving off of Tyler Heineke. Where were the Eagles in this? How does this signing of the Denver Broncos affect the Philadelphia Eagles? I think big time. Don't you guys agree? And look at it this way from the Eagles' perspective now. Who's the top quarterback and the top team in the NFC going into 2022 as we talk here on March 8th? Tell me who you think. Stafford? Rodgers? Dak? Look where we're starting to get closer to Jalen Hurts here. Kyler Murray? Who else? Who after Kyler Murray? Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, Matthew Stafford, and Aaron Rodgers. Who else? After 4 quarterbacks in the NFC, who else? Kirk Cousins? Now we start to get really down in the dirty part of the quarterback shuffle here. Kirk Cousins? Jimmy Garoppolo? Who else? Right. Chris, Jared Goff? Who? Jameis Winston maybe back in New Orleans? Yeah. Chalk it up, Sports Philly. Rodgers, Stafford, Dak, Kyler, and Cousins. Wouldn't you put Jalen Hurts 6th? Give me another guy. And by the way, if you're Howie Roseman, you got to look at it like this. We got better today. You moved Russell Wilson out of the NFC. The NFC, Chalk It Up Sports, is totally wide open. So if you're Howie Roseman now, do you really do this? Let's push all the chips in on Deshaun Watson. Why? You've got one of the top 5 or 6 teams in the NFC now, with Jalen Hurts as your quarterback on a rookie contract. Financially. And we'll talk about the salary cap. Financially, Philadelphia is in the best position of any team in the conference. Tell me I'm wrong. You're in the best position. Now watch this. Man, we could have got Russell Wilson. Not necessarily. You don't know Russell Wilson wanted to play in Philly. And you don't know if Seattle put a requirement on it. We're not trading him in the conference. All the details have yet to come out yet on that. You just don't know what the parameters were on both sides agreeing to part ways. Okay, we'll send you somewhere, but we're not sending you in the NFC. I don't want Russell Wilson coming back in a playoff game, maybe, and going up to Seattle and beating us. Not happening. So, was this a bad day for Xander was like this. I mean, he's like, man, we could have been in. Maybe. He actually thinks also that, Deshaun Watson's price tag may come down. I don't think so. I think the price tag goes up. Because if you're seeing all these teams, and after what we saw in the playoffs, you need one of those guys. There is no question the value of the quarterback position is so much in a demand right now that there's a massive market for Carson Wentz. There is a massive market for Carson Wentz. He could play in Tampa. He could play in New Orleans. Washington may get him. And some of you are going like this. Carson Wentz, though, dude, he's not a very good quarterback. Well, there aren't a lot of good quarterbacks in the conference now. You got a few great ones, and the rest are okay. Dak Prescott is a fine quarterback. I wouldn't call his ass elite. Kyler Murray, I'm questioning leadership now, plus his durability. You're in the AFC. Look at all the quarterbacks in the AFC now. I mean, really? Talk to me after the draft, Big Sills. We'll see, man. Philly doesn't have a quarterback. Neither does half of the conference. Everybody loves Denver, the mountains, all that stuff. Yeah, I wonder how Russell Wilson's going to like having to play Patrick Mahomes twice, Derek Carr twice, and Justin Herbert twice. We'll see how that works out. He actually goes, look at what the AFC West looks like now with Denver having Wilson in it. Yeah. Okay. The NFC West used to be great. How about the AFC West now? Look at the quarterbacks you have in that division now. Holy cow. Winning the AFC West is probably going to be a ticket to get you to the AFC Conference Championship game. I mean, look at that, man. Derek Carr. Derek Carr may be the least in that division. Justin Herbert. They just re-signed Mike Williams to a $60 million contract. $20 million a year. Hey, right? You got Josh McDaniel now, too, the head coach of the Raiders. Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid. Now you got Wilson in that division. Holy cow, man. Lawrence goes, I'm depressed. Why? Your football team has elevated itself today, Lawrence. You're depressed because you don't have the shiny guy at the wheel that you want. You don't like the fact that Jalen is a meat and potato guy and he's not one of the shiny lures that are out there in the NFL. It's okay. Welcome to the big city, Sierra. I think Sierra's been to a few big cities in her concert days. Dan says Philly roster has way too many holes this offseason. Won't fix it all. Jeremiah, I'm sure he's thought of that. He played Rodgers since he's been in. Mahomes can be had. I'm not talking about that, dude. I'm talking about the division as a general. When it comes to look at the great quarterbacks that are in that division, that's not going to be a cakewalk to win the AFC West. We don't have that many holes. Linebacker, cornerback, wide receiver can be covered easily this offseason. Absolutely, Reyes. And because what's the most important thing that you guys have going for you right now? What do you think the most important thing is going on for Philadelphia right now? What do you think? What do you think the most important thing is? The fact that you have cap collateral and you have the draft picks. Now, I will ask you this. You think one of the reasons Russell Wilson didn't want to come to Philadelphia is because of Howie Roseman? There's no question Russell Wilson wasn't going to play in Washington. Not playing for Daniel Snyder. Daniel Snyder is going to land a desperate quarterback, not a quarterback who is looking for a place to go win a Super Bowl. If you're an elite quarterback, you're not going to Washington. Why you're not going to Washington? Because you have a dumbass owner in the NFL in that city running that team. It's been a train wreck since Daniel Snyder has owned the Washington team. You can't even get the fucking name right. You lost all your heritage because you bent over to the woke society. Half the people look at that organization now and go, Daniel Snyder runs it. I'm not going. Why would Russell Wilson in his life think about playing in Washington? By the way, for the record, I'd love to play in Washington, but I'm not playing for him. Not playing for him. 5 large Rams win NFC. Dallas is falling apart. Man, Dallas right now is trying to put Humpty Dumpty back together again because the salary cap has broken that roster in half. You guys are sitting in a position. Don't be pissed off today. Don't be down. You actually got better today by doing nothing. And it didn't cost you anything. Yeah, but I want Russell Wilson. I get it. You're not landing that guy now. You know why? The place is not that inviting. Here, guys, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. Philadelphia is not an inviting place right now to come and play. It's not. The decision-making issues has to be a problem for an elite guy. Now, if I'm Russell Wilson, why would I want to come to Philadelphia with the limited wideouts you have? Because you guys have a good run game? That mattered, probably, when they were looking around the room. You know, his agent probably went like this. What about Philly? Got a great running game. Yeah, but the GM gets in the way. They just fired a Super Bowl winning coach. Okay? I mean, you fired Doug Peterson. You know how many people in the NFL have great respect for Doug Peterson and what he accomplished in Philadelphia with two backup quarterbacks running the team, himself and Frank Reich, and then a backup quarterback delivering the goods and winning a Super Bowl. You know how much respect he has? A lot. Okay? Look, guys, I'm not, one thing you're going to get with me all the time, and, this has always been, this is always when people say, well, you're controversial. I'm not controversial in anything I do. I'm just speaking the truth. Why would I want to come to Philly right now? If I'm Deshaun Watson, how about this? Guys, ask yourself this question. Let's have real talk today. Let's have a real conversation today. Let me ask you this. You think Russell Wilson wants to play in Philly? Ask yourself. Yes or no? And don't add anything to it. Yes or no? Do you think Deshaun Watson wants to play in Philadelphia right now? Howie Roseman knows the answer to this already because he's probably kicked the tires. He probably kicked the tires on Russell Wilson. Right, guys. Hugh, picking, right. Why would he want to come here? What's sexy about Philly? Jeremiah, it's obvious. Why? Half the league's going to go after him still. Okay? Even if you take the Denver Broncos. How about this? What if Seattle lands Deshaun Watson? You guys ever think of that? Seattle got fleeced. Well, Seattle now has draft commodities to call Houston up and say, I'll take Deshaun Watson. Nobody in their mind is putting those pieces together. How do you know Deshaun's not number one on their list now? Well, we just got all these draft choices and players from Denver. Nick Caserio, we're going to give you the 2 first-rounders that we have, okay? And we're going to give you Jamal Adams, and we'll take Deshaun Watson. Because Xander said something that was interesting. Dude, look at the price tag you got Wilson for at 32. 2 ones and players. And you know what? Denver even got a 4th-rounder back in the deal. How do you know Seattle's not going to go after Watson now? 26 years old. How do you know that? Hey, Deshaun, how'd you like to come and play for Pete Carroll for a couple of years here? I'm not retiring anytime soon. I'm going to coach until I'm 73. All of a sudden, you get Deshaun Watson in Seattle. All of a sudden, that dynamic looks a little different, doesn't it? Hey, Seattle got fleeced. Well, not if they land that kid. Not if they land that guy. You think Seattle's going to sit around and be non-relevant with Drew Lock as their quarterback? That's a joke. Carroll's trying to get in the Hall of Fame. You think he's going to have 4 shitty years at the end of his resume in Seattle? Come on, man. That's like Bill Belichick is chasing down Don Shula. He's chasing down Don Shula for the all-time single season, or no, all-time regular season wins total. Okay? Too much rain. Bags of money, man, are a hell of an umbrella when you're throwing big money around at people. I see Willis getting drafted by the Seahawks. Okay? Well, I said Seattle sitting in the 9th hole 2 weeks ago. I kind of thought this was coming, that they were getting ready to move off of this. But again, why would I want to come and play in Philly? Man, Howie should have been in this thing here. And how do you know he wasn't? They probably actionated it in Seattle because, one, here, get this. Why would Seattle trade Russell Wilson to the Philadelphia Eagles, who are this close from going to the NFC Championship game with a quarterback like Russell Wilson? Why in the world would they do that? To make another conference team stronger. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Yeah, you know what? I feel like making the Eagles a Super Bowl contender. Let's send Russell Wilson. That sounds idiotic in its own self. Everyone knows the Eagles have all the draft picks, all the money. So Seattle's just going to help him out and send him a Hall of Fame quarterback at 32? Come on, man. Use your common sense. That's a dumb conversation. Seattle's not sending Russell Wilson to the Philadelphia Eagles. And Russell looks at the quarterback situation the last 2 years, and then he looks at the room, the wide receiver room, and he goes, I don't know. It's not where I'm going. Smile, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yes, we did. I said Seattle will take a quarterback at number 9. Depending on what they do in free agency here. But I think they're going to take a quarterback at 9 now. Yeah, we put that out there. Seals, what player would you move up in the draft? We'll get into all that. Today's a bombshell day. Big Pickett says Denver's a quarterback away. Makes sense. Quarterback away? Hey, man, that defense really played well last year. It really did. That was probably one of the more inviting things for Russell Wilson was the fact that that Denver's defense had a really good ranking last year. Paul says the Eagles are not a complete team. Paul, you don't have to be a complete team in the NFC. You don't have to be. Okay? There's no way you have to be. That's why they signed all these wide receivers. Dude, Jalen Reagor and Devontae Smith doesn't make Russell Wilson pick his head up and go like this. Wow. Okay? And I get Denver. Now, I'm not saying that Denver's group and them signing all those wideouts, when you put Judy in the room, Judy versus Devontae, I don't know. I'm sorry. I think the kid in Denver's better. Then again, no disrespect to Devontae, but I think that kid in Miami is better than the kid in Philly. Just an opinion. Okay? I think the kid in Miami out of Bama's better. That's just an opinion. Okay? And by the way, when I say that, I still think Devontae's a great football player. But I think the kid in Miami's better. The kid, Judy, in Denver's better. Again, just personal preference. Waddle, yes. Amari Cooper to the Broncos? Holy cow. They're going to do everything they possibly can. Okay, to what you're praying for if you're Denver, that nobody, and oh, by the way, know this. What's even greater now, Amari Cooper's contract's not getting picked up. You think somebody's going to pick up a $20 million contract? That guy's going to clear waivers on March 18th, and he's going to pick a team. And you know what that team may be? The Denver Broncos. I'm going to go play in Denver if I'm Amari Cooper. Why would I play in Philly? Money. Okay? Hey, Chris, I'm not hating on him. Okay. Dwayne, really? Okay. Again, it's personal preference. I think Waddle was a better player at Bama until he got injured. It's just an opinion, man. You may not like the opinion. I don't really care. Okay? Okay, I don't. I think Waddle's more of a talent. I saw him at Bama, and it's just a personal preference. Whatever. I think, by the way, Judy, Devontae, and Waddle are all great players. Those three guys are going to make Pro Bowls after Pro Bowl. I like the other two. It's personal preference. You may like them. Because you like them doesn't mean I do. Like Jamar Chase. I think Chase is a spectacular player. I do. But you know what? I look at him and I go, okay, I could use a lot more. I could use an offensive tackle more than I could use him in Cincy. Quarterback will make every wide receiver that goes through that building better player. Okay? I don't need a high-flying wide receiver. Let's do this. Okay? I know everybody's talking about Cooper Kupp being this like superstar wide receiver. Cooper Kupp was not a superstar wide receiver until Matthew Stafford showed up. And when you look at all these so-called high-profile wideouts, look at the last couple Super Bowls. Mike Evans, okay, he's probably a high-profile guy. Would you consider him one of the greatest in the game? Maybe a little bit, right? Kupp had a historical year. But do you think he's DeAndre Hopkins? You think Cooper Kupp is better than DeAndre Hopkins? Who says that? Godwin got tagged by the Buccaneers. How many people think that Cooper Kupp is better than DeAndre Hopkins? Okay? Cooper Kupp, hey, Lawrence, Cooper Kupp is not bald. He's had 1 year. That's not balling. He had a career year. Okay? Lawrence, there's no way that Kupp is better than DeAndre Hopkins. Not close. Okay? Not close. Hopkins is the best third down wideout I've seen since Michael Irvin. Okay? This year, Kupp was better. Like I said, I don't look at a prism of 17 games. I'd take everybody's chapters and put them together and look at the book and where they are right now. You guys are looking through a small prism. I'm looking at what the guy has done as a trend for his career. Okay? This year, yes, great. I wasn't talking that. See? Taking 5% of what I say and not really putting it into the context of the conversation. You guys got to look at the body of work and where the player is today. Hey, by the way, do I think that Cooper Kupp will duplicate that year? No way. No way. These defensive coordinators are going to do everything they can in their power to double team that guy. And they're going to make Woods, and when Beckham comes back in November, beat him. We'll see. If you can get through a 17-game season, having a guy double-teamed and having those numbers cut in half. You think you're just going to let Cooper Kupp run down the sidelines on you again in another year? These coordinators are just going to let that guy get free reign, line up wide in a Y or Z, and you think he's going to have nobody on him any longer? That's changed. He now has the target, which means everybody else on that team's like Woods and Beckham and whoever they bring in has to be open. We'll see. Rams are second in the NFL being over the cap. They got to get down by March 18th. That's next week. Actually, I think they have to be under the cap by today because it came out 2082. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Guys, your Eagles got better today. Your Eagles got better. Marcus says, we getting Watson. They're sending out private investigators. Eagles got to get a real quarterback now. Why? You're probably the fifth best team in the conference now. With Jalen. With Jalen. Well, I know where you're going. With Deshaun Watson, you're probably the best team in the conference. Look at what one player could do for your team right now. If you got Deshaun Watson, you'd be the best player. You'd have the best chance of winning the conference. Rams are not repeating. Too much in salary cap hell. Look at what the Cowboys are doing. The Cowboys aren't going to be the same. You know what's funny? People are ranking the Cowboys as one of the better teams right now in the NFC. How can you do that when you're going to cut Amari Cooper and DeMarcus Lawrence? How are you saying that? You don't think that's going to have a direct impact on Dan Quinn's defense, losing a guy like Lawrence? Or you don't think like you're looking at how the Cowboys moved the chains with Amari Cooper, that you're going to see that, well, they're not going to be able to move the chains like they did in the past because you got CeeDee Lamb and then Michael Gallup? Okay. That sounds good. But Cooper was the game changer for Dak. Well, am I not right? Alex says the Cowboys are regressing. Absolutely. Should the Eagles sign Amari Cooper? Beast, why would we in a million years pick up that contract? You're going to pick a $20 million wide receiver contract up for a guy who acts like Casper the Ghost sometimes? That guy's high. Sometimes you see him, sometimes you don't. That guy's mysteriously absent in huge games. And by the way, every time I watch him against the Eagles, this guy had a hangnail or he had like a Midol attack or something. This guy had the cramps or something. Every time. Every time he played the Eagles, there was something up because he didn't want to be in a physical ball game against a physical football team. Dude's Casper the Ghost half the time in big games. We want no former Philly. Why wouldn't you say that's not common sense? You give me DeMarcus Lawrence, I'll put him on that Philadelphia Eagle team in 10 seconds. Make my opponent and my rival weaker, and I get some intel on what they're doing on defense. Gee, how is that not an asset? Don't look at it like that, guys. Okay? Can you see how he going in for DK? DK Metcalf is the worst route runner in the league. He's great in a straight line. He's built like a brick shithouse. But you know what? I don't know. Amendola and Edelman are more productive than he is. Because of the quarterback. DK Metcalf now with who? Geno Smith? Drew Lock? Okay, we'll see what that guy does. Guys, I hope I'm not coming off too harsh here on you. But you are where your feet are. Okay? This is who you are, the Eagles. Deal with it. It's like walking by Nordstrom's or Bloomingdale's. Man, that suit looks great. That thing would look dope on me, man. Then you look at the price tag. And you go like this. Wow, $4,000 for that thing. I'm happy with who I am. Let's just work harder and see if we can get there one day. That's what the Eagles have to do. The Eagles have to work hard at what they have. They have draft commodity. Their house is not built yet for it to be conducive to want to come and play. Some would say this, why is Denver? And Denver's in a flux too when it comes to ownership. Okay, the Dolans, Pat Bolin's family's not going to own that football team very much longer. I don't know who's going to own it. Okay, so that's an issue. But you still have John Elway in the building. Don't think John Elway didn't have some say in this. You know he did. So they've had Peyton Manning and now Russell Wilson in the last 10 years want to come and play in Denver. Okay? Personally, guys, I think Philadelphia is a phenomenal city, and I'd want to come play there. Okay? I'd want to come play there because there's been great heritage in defensive football players. Plus, you're in the NFC East. My question would be Jonathan Gannon. Does he really know how to use defensive tackles? Fletcher Cox was good kind of in the second half of the year. And I would look at that and go, man, Fletcher Cox wasn't all that. And he's an $18 million guy for them coming up this year. And I would look at Hardgrave and go, got out to a great start, but then got slowed up. Injuries, what have you. Ineffective ability to use him right. I would look at that. Guy has no edge rusher as of now. That's going to affect our coverages, and we're going to be on the field longer, which means this. We're going to have a lower ranking in defense, which they didn't because of the way they played in the second half. People just got to have a little bit of faith in Howie Roseman. We're going to hit on that. We're going to hit on that, by the way, okay? We really are. By the way, guys, do me a favor. I got to do it again. Ready? You guys ready here? The weed whacker here. We got support with Big Sills here from our friends at Manscaped, and it's all brought to you by Manscaped. These guys are the best below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped protects the family jewels, as I say, like Big Sills does, better than Fort Knox. Listen, guys, I know you're used to talking about balls. You know why? How many years did we go on talking about Tom Brady's balls? Deflategate, you know? This is what we got going on here. Join the over 4 million men worldwide that trust Manscaped. And get this, we got an exclusive offer for you. Please do me a favor, 20% off, free worldwide shipping. If you use the code Sileo, S as in Sam, ILEO, manscaped.com. Now, if my math is right, let me see here. That's 8 million balls. That's right. Okay, I'm going to do something I did yesterday. You guys ready? I'm going to show you my package. Oh, wait. Okay. Here's my package. Look at what I got here. This will be sent to you. That says right there, your balls will thank you. Thank you. Look at that. Look at that there, man. By the way, legendary weed whacker. Legendary weed whacker. You guys like my package? Surely enough you did, man. The legendary weed whacker, too. Get 20% off of free shipping. Use the promo code Sileo, S as in Sam, I-L-E-O, at manscaped.com. That's 20% off free shipping with manscaped.com. Use the promo code Sileo. That's S as in Sam, I-L-E-O. Unlock your confidence. And do me a favor, guys. Make sure you use the right tools for the right time and the right job. That's right. That's Manscaping. Do me a favor. Tell them your boy Sileo sent you.